Kia ora, and welcome to my interesting world. Now that's a line from tonight's film, which I think you're going to really enjoy. Now we've had a couple of Taika Waititi films over the last few months. We had Jojo Rabbit, Hunt for the Wilder People, but Boy is probably where it all began. So in 2004, Taika Waititi made a short film called Two Cars, One Night, which you can watch on YouTube. It's about 11 minutes long, and it's got a lot of the elements that you will see, particularly of Boy's character. It's a black and white short, but it's a really lovely, if you enjoyed this film, go and watch the short. It's freely available on YouTube. So Boy is a very low budget movie. He made the film in 2004 as a short, then began to start developing it with some pretty sort of well-known faces from the world of sort of stage and screen. It sort of started to launch Taika Waititi as a director, but it would be a few years before Boy came to fruition. So after Two Cars, One Night, he made Eagle versus Shark, which is, again, a lovely, quirky movie, which freely available to watch. And then Boy was developed and funded for and everything. So it's a low-budget movie. He created the budget for it, which was about £50,000, which is quite incredible, really, through crowdfunding. The film then went on to make nearly £9.6 million at the box office, and I think still holds the record for one of the highest grossing movies of all time in New Zealand. The first one was The World's Fastest Indian with Anthony Hopkins, which I'm sure many of you have seen. Again, true story. This isn't a true story, though. It is quite autobiographical. So it's all set in Waihu Beach, which is in New Zealand in the Bay of Plenty. I've been there, I've been to the location, and it is pretty much as you see in the film. That corner shop where they all kind of hang out on the front is still there and very much unchanged. And this is where Taika grew up, a very poor community in New Zealand, although set, as you will see, in a lovely, stunning area of New Zealand in the Bay of Plenty, in Gisborne. And what we see through this film is elements of him growing up, I suppose, and the community, the harshness. I mean, this is a comedy, but it's a painful comedy about growing up, and I think you'll see that throughout. So this film explores, a young boy, sort of coming of age, really, with his brother Rocky, who he thinks has got superpowers. His best friends are Dallas and Dynasty. The girl that he wants to fall in love with is called Chardonnay. His father figure, who he sort of makes out to be this amazing character, is called Alamein, sort of named after the Battle of Alamein. And actually, what we see is disappointment, hero worship, and we do see a lot of different elements in this, some of which are quite harsh, but others which are quite tragic, really. A boy obsessed with Michael Jackson. So this is a film set in 1984, and you'll see right at the end of this film a really lovely sort of hybrid mashup of the Harker and Thriller, which is a real treat. I won't say too much more about that. But what I love about this film is that it's a gentle movie. It's a story well told. It gently rolls along. Taika Waititi is in the movie as well, playing the father. I think that's pivotal as well. Because he brings so much to any film that he's in. You'll see Rachel House from Hunt for the Wilder People as the store owner. She appears in a lot of his films as well. So James Rolleston, who is the young actor who plays Boy, had a very lucky break in this movie because he was originally just an unspoken extra in the background, and 2 days before principal photography started, Taika Waititi just decided the actor he had just wasn't sort of giving him what he wanted, and so he gave James a short screen test literally a couple of days before, decided he really had found Boy, and the rest is sort of history, really, because he really does bring something very, very special to this. That whole element of Maori humour, things like talking about egg. Egg is a bit of an insult in New Zealand. If you call someone an egg, it means that they're a bit silly, a bit stupid, a bit foolish. And they use it quite a lot throughout this movie. But this is, don't forget, this is a place where Taika Waititi grew up, Waihee Beach, and so this is very much his territory, his roots, and I think we really get to see that throughout the whole movie. The original title for this movie, incidentally, was called Volcano, and I think we get that. There's always a feeling throughout this movie that something really big will erupt, but nothing really does. It's very much underlying. But I think you're going to fall in love with this film as I did, and it is a cracking movie. So.